I'm very proud to say in a very genuine way, welcome to Creighton University, class of 2014. Today's gathering is sort of an alpha and an omega event, a beginning and an end. This is the first presidential convocation for new students, but it's also my last opportunity to do this because, as Dr. Super referenced, I am leaving the university at the end of this year. So today what I'm going to do is welcome you to the university, share some observations about college life in general and life at Creighton in particular, and also put a few challenges in front of you. I assure you, this will not be a repeat of your high school graduation talk. I will not use a lot of cliches. There will be, however, some words of wisdom from other sources, but really what I hope to do, I hope to plant some seeds in you for future growth, you, this amazing generation. So let's begin with our context. Our context has three interrelated parts: Creighton University, Omaha, and you. Creighton is an institution known for quality, value-based, student-centered education and healthcare, known for service and outreach to the greater community, known as the intellectual center of Catholic thought and dialogue in Omaha, respected well beyond this city's parameters in Nebraska or the region. We prepare students to be professionally competent, socially committed, and compassionate citizens. And this year we will enroll some 7,300 students. In 1878, when Mary Lucretia Creighton executed her husband's will and built the first college building, she sited it proximate to the center of a bustling post-Civil War Omaha. And it's been noted that Mrs. Creighton gave us a building, 7 acres, and $140,000 endowment. And I'm very happy to stand here this morning and say we still have all three. However, today we have 72 buildings, 140 acres, and over $300 million in endowment. Creighton, as you already have come to know, is somewhat unusual in American higher education because of our size and our complexity, with that full menu of healthcare professions and a teaching hospital, together with the traditional colleges and programs, all located proximate to one another on this contiguous campus. That, of course, creates challenges and opportunities, but I think especially opportunities. Second part of the context, Omaha. Omaha has a fabled history of being the Alpha Point, a starting place for the Lewis and Clark expedition, the Mormon pioneers, the gateway for the western expansion of the railroad and the telegraph, and the cultivation of cattle and agribusiness. That same can-do, adventuresome spirit continues to prevail in the Omaha of today. We have a great relationship with our city. As the Omaha World Herald in an editorial recently cited, quote, "Creighton University stands tall in the life of Omaha." The success of the Quest Center, the riverfront development, the TD Ameritrade Park, and Morrison Stadium stand as testimonials to our engagement in the city, as does, and perhaps most importantly, does our generous service to the needy of this community. So now to complete the context, a quick look at you. What does the class of 2014 look like? You all have academic talent to leave a lasting footprint at Creighton. You collected admissions to numerous prestigious institutions and flagship state universities, yet you chose to come here. 80% of you have been involved in doing service or involved in your church. 81% of you chose Creighton because of the quality of our academic programs. 25% of you liked our Catholic and our Jesuit mission. 61% of you indicated an interest in pursuing a Creighton professional program. 56% of you indicated an interest in medicine. 44% of you ranked in the top 10% of your class, with 12% being the valedictorians of your class. 21% are first-generation college students, 22% are Creighton legacies, and 25% are students of color. You come from 40 states, and over 100 of you come from my home state of Iowa. Yeah. Okay. Each one of you each one of the 10,018 academically talented, highly motivated, generous members of the class of 2014. And you are beginning college in a challenging and in changing times. The job you are preparing for, my friends, may not yet even been invented. That's how fast change is afoot. In recent years, the ground has shifted for Americans in virtually every important sphere of our life: economic, global, cross-cultural, environmental, civic, and political. The world is being dramatically reshaped by scientific and technological innovation, global interdependence, cross-cultural encounters, and changes in the balance of economic and political power. Only a few years ago, Americans envisaged a future in which this nation would be the world's only superpower. Today, it is clear that the United States and we individual Americans will be challenged to engage in unprecedented ways with the global community, collaboratively and competitively. These waves of dislocating change will only intensify. The world in which you will make choices, the world in which you will compose your lives, is one of disruption rather than certainty, one of interdependence rather than insularity. This volatility also applies to your careers. Studies show that Americans already changed jobs 10 times in 2 decades after they turn 18. As I mentioned earlier, your job may perhaps not yet been invented. So as your respective deans will share with you this afternoon, Creighton focuses on essential learning with outcomes that will equip you, regardless of your major or your career aspiration, with the capabilities to succeed. A course of studies that allows students to develop these capacities is best described as a liberal, and I add a liberating, education. Reflecting the traditions of American higher education since its founding, the term liberal education headlines the kind of learning needed for a free society and for the full development of your human talent. Liberal education has always been this nation's signature educational tradition that is intended to build core values, expanding horizons, building understanding of a wider world, honing analytical and communication skills, and fostering responsibilities beyond self. Now, predating this American experience, the Jesuit approach to education has been rooted in the study of the liberal arts across 5 centuries, beginning in 1554. We are very pragmatic educators. We educate you to be educationally distinguished, professionally competent, successful, and equipped to fashion society with a sensitivity to and a thirst for justice and service. We will educate you to do well for yourself and to do good for others. St. Ignatius, the founder of the Jesuit order, in his vision of education, emphasized socially relevant goals. Education was to lead to moral goodness, a devotion to truth, and a disposition to act for the civic good. Most recently, Jesuit education has emphasized an active engagement with issues related to justice, globalization, and the environment. The Jesuit-educated person must be aware that we bear a responsibility for the welfare of the world and its development in a sustainable and life-giving way. Now, in Creighton's approach to education, it is our intention that you, the student, will integrate your chosen major with the core curriculum. Why? To gain a knowledge of human cultures and sciences, to learn intellectual and practical skills like critical thinking and problem solving and communication, and to develop personal and social responsibility, especially ethical reasoning, moral decision-making, and civic engagement. This is, I assure you, the foundation for success in all fields, from technology and the sciences, to communications and the creative arts, to healthcare, business, and law. With that background, let's get away from the theoretical and the heavy stuff and focus a bit more closely to where you are as university freshmen sitting literally on the cusp of your first day of class. I've been in higher education, as Dr. Super mentioned, since 1976. And over that time, I've observed a lot of student success and a lot of student failure. I've become a believer in Thomas Edison's observation that if you did the things you're capable of, you would astound yourself. Think about that. If you did the things you are capable of, you would astound yourself. Creighton is a great place to do just that, to astound yourself and to dream no timid dreams. So in doing that, keep these 5 simple things in mind. 1, being a college student is a full-time job. It takes full engagement. We, like your parents, want to see you out of here in 4 years. We need the beds. We need the classroom space. The curriculum is designed to liberate you in that time frame. Secondly, over 4 years of study, the whole is much greater than the sum of the parts. Studying subjects you might not naturally be drawn to is part of the recipe for success. Your willingness to trust Creighton's requirements for what ought to be studied is an essential act of faith. Knowledge is cumulative, and the integration of that knowledge is highly desirable. Hence, it is very important to learn to balance several areas of learning at the same time: science and fine arts, social sciences and technology. Third, what happens outside the classroom contributes to the totality of the educational experience. Enjoy Creighton. Enjoy Creighton and enjoy the Omaha community. Make new friends, try new things, learn to appreciate different music, get involved in student government and service, play intramurals, make a retreat, go to a Blue Jay game. Enjoy your youth. It is more fleeting than you realize. But at all times, strive to balance the academic, the social, and the spiritual part of your life. 4, college is worth the investment, measured in both personal and societal terms. The differential in lifetime earnings between college graduates and non-graduates is huge, and it does truly dwarf the average indebtedness of new college graduates. So never lose sight of that bigger picture. And 5th, the word about technology. Information literacy is a survival skill in this information age. But as you know, perhaps better than I, there is a dark side to technology. I am not going to lecture you on the social networks and the possible side effects of isolation, anti-socialization, impatience, or distraction. But I am going to say a word to you about the legal aspects of information retrieval and information use. Cyberspace plagiarism thrives. It thrives in part because many students leave high school unprepared for the intellectual rigor of college writing, and your faculty will encourage you, in fact demand you to write. Many students do not grasp that using words that they did not write is a serious matter. In this era of cut, copy, paste, we've all done it, music downloading and pirated software, a disconnect is growing in the internet age as concepts of intellectual property, copyright, and originality are under assault in the unbridled exchange of online information. Your generation has always existed in a world where media and intellectual property do not have the same gravity. This is something you will have to become familiar with or suffer the consequences. Our faculty is getting pretty good on being cyber cops, so let's keep that in mind. And finally, for this last part of my comments, I did something I've been wanting to do for a long time. I asked 10 graduating seniors what advice they would give to you as a first-year student at Creighton. And here's what they said. There is no template for a successful college career. Find things you are passionate about, seize on topics that are important and compelling to you, and then engage deeply. Another wrote, enjoy your youth, get involved, but keep your grades up. They will be useful later. Another wrote, college is in part about expanding horizons, making new friends, thinking new thoughts. Do not be afraid to try something different. This is not your father's Creighton. Another said, invest your time and energy in the activities that mean most to you. It is always better to devote yourself fully to a few projects, passions, and activities and excel in those, rather than spreading yourself too thin and being less effective. Focus on the difference you can make while you're at Creighton, wrote another. The movers and shakers are focused on where they want to go and how they plan to take the world along with them. This is one I like a lot. Learn to say no. There are bounteous opportunities and causes. Strike a balance between what you choose to get involved in, the classroom, and time to relax. Another wrote, meet and maybe live with students from other countries who speak languages you've never heard and whose intellectual and cultural interests are not like yours. Be brave, says one. Be brave about talking to professors. They're not all as benign as Dr. Super, but be brave nonetheless. Be brave about talking to your professors. You will learn more at Creighton, get better mentoring at Creighton, have more doors open for you at Creighton because you know your professors, and they will welcome you approaching them. This is one of the primary reasons that we are sitting here as a freshman class en masse. If you're at a state school, this would be the size of a class. You have opportunities to meet your mentors one-on-one, and they will know your name, and you will know theirs. And just three more. Study abroad, wrote one. And the penultimate one, when you find something that excites you, talk about it to the people you perceive most knowledgeable about that topic, even if at the risk of sounding stupid. We all say stupid things on occasion. That's like risk, that's how you grow. And finally, one wrote, befriend a Jesuit. They are great mentors and guides, and again, they will welcome your approach. So now, by way of conclusion, let me say that your generation of young people, as I've said before, is pretty amazing. You have a generous spirit of service, you care about the environment, you're very health conscious, you aspire to the highest professional and academic goals, and you have a hunger for spirituality, if not religion. And I view this combination of characteristics and aspirations to be a very good fit between you and Creighton. The years opening before you, my friends, will transform you, believe me. I've seen it across 3 decades. These experiences, however, will challenge you and they will humble you. These will be years of incredible growth in self-knowledge, but they'll also empower you and give you wings to your deepest dreams and aspirations. And finally, I have a very strong belief in the transformative power of a Jesuit education. I believe that the Jesuit brand of higher education is incredibly rich, incredibly powerful, and incredibly relevant to our age. We desperately need more effective leadership in business, the church, and the political and civic life. Jesuit educators and a Jesuit-inspired education are positioned to develop the sort of leaders our culture sorely needs today. And that means you, each one of you. The German poet Goethe wrote, "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it." Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Creighton is a place for such boldness. This campus community will empower you and allow you to realize your deepest desires. So thank you for joining us at Creighton University. You are an amazing generation, and I look forward to meeting some of you as the year goes forward. Thank you very much.